What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 12 of Gear Stories, and today we have another guest on the program. This is my friend Jim O'Brien and his Taylor 114 CE. Most of you guys already know I'm a huge fan of Taylor. I actually have two other videos based on Taylor guitars quite similar to this, so we'll touch on the differences, the specifications, and Jim's going to tell you the story of the guitar, how it came into his hands, and what he loves about it, and we're going to go ahead and let him take it away. So what drew you to this guitar? Why did you pick this one out? And are there any, just in general, stories behind the beginnings of this guitar?
Yeah, so this is my third acoustic I ever bought. The first one I got in high school with my cash from picking corn all summer. That was my first job when I was 15, and I bought it just to have one. I didn't get into playing acoustics till I was in college because you can't make as much noise in a dorm room anymore. So I wanted a better one then. I bought a Garrison then. That was the first decent one I had that was over the $500 mark. And then I started playing shows by myself for maybe a year plus or so. And it didn't bother me for a while until I had two kids at home. And over time, the more I would pick them up, I noticed longer and longer into gigs, my back started bothering me more and more. So I started looking for a newer one that was lighter, and I was torn between Marshalls and Taylors, and I honestly set out completely convinced I would be buying a Martin, but I went to Guitar Center, sampled this guy and a few other Martins, and this was the one that I ended up sitting and strumming and fiddling around with for the longest amount of time. Made myself leave so I didn't do an impulse buy, and then I think 24 hours later went back and bought it. I got this Memorial Day weekend of 2019. And that particular week, I remember I think I had a gig Thursday night at the pier at Sharky's, and I called them on a Wednesday and I said, "Hey, can you give me whatever the prices are this weekend if I come today?" Because I wanted to get it before that gig so badly. So I think I bought it, the day before Memorial Day weekend. But I do remember I bought it. I wanted it for that Thursday night gig really, really badly. So.
And I'm sure it worked out really well for
it. It did, yeah. And it's been the only one I've used since then. I thought maybe I would switch back and forth. But since that Thursday before Memorial Day weekend, 2019, this is the only one I've gigged with.
Yeah, they've certainly been kind to me, and they're, a reliable guitar. I even have a backup, just in case, because I wanted that Taylor feeling that I'm used to. Mm-hmm. The way they're set up, it seems from the factory that they're all pretty similar. When you pick up a Taylor in the guitar store and you pick up a second one, they're going to feel damn near identical.
Yeah.
In my experience. And I like that about them. They're very uniform, and, the two guitars I have that I use live, I can't really tell a difference if I have a blindfold on. And That's awesome. And the electronics on these, they really work well with a PA or really just plugged into anything. And it's just three discrete little knobs on the top, and you have all the adjustment there at your fingertips. They really do work quite well for a live gig. So what all have you recorded on this guitar, and where did you record it?
So I started back when the vid hit us in 2019 in March, and we started to get all of our locked inside time. I finally started. I've been telling myself I was going to get back into home recording and writing for a long time, but so I did finally get into that with all the free time we had. I bought myself an iPad Pro, and that became my home studio that I do. So I do all my recording at home on an iPad, and it's all with this guitar through just an interface that you can plug in and do your recording with. I'm blanking on the Scarlett, the little red Scarlett DI box. That's the one that I use as my interface. And so I started recording, I'd say March of 2019. No, sorry, March of 2020 I started recording with this. And since then I've put out a 7-song album. I don't know if 7's long enough to call it an album, but I put a 7-song collection out October of last year. And then since then I've recorded and put out 2 more singles, but they've all just been home recordings into my iPad with this guy.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's really cool about music today is that we can do things like that with a very simple setup. You just go when inspiration strikes, and you go and record it and lay it down.
Yeah.
And you can layer all these things on top of it. And I think you mentioned before we got on set that you're bouncing off of another individual with mixing.
Yeah, John Wolf. He lives out in his company is Wolf Audio. He's been a great resource for mixing and stuff, but yeah, like you said, the accessibility you have with home studios now, and then even just how easy it is to find tutorials or things to help you online, YouTube and whatnot. There's not nearly as much of a price barrier to start that there used to be. You don't have to go to a studio if you just want to get started in putting out your own music. And yeah, it's been really cool to have some fun and experiment with just home recording and just being able to do it all without leaving the house.
Absolutely.
Since
you
we
have
couldn't
a lot more
for so long.
control. Yes, and
Yeah.
it didn't let COVID get in the way for you too, because
Exactly.
you have everything at your fingertips. So the Taylor 100 series guitars come standard with a Sitka spruce top and a laminate back insides. In the 100 series, the laminate that they use is a Sapele with a black binding going from the back insides to the top. Going up the guitar, we have a mahogany neck with a ebony fingerboard, and Taylor actually recently did something really awesome in terms of ebony forestry. For the longest time, guitar manufacturers would only use ebony wood that looked like your fingerboard, straight black.
Okay.
You know, but now the newer Taylors and other newer models that you see from even other makers have some of that blonde in it. They used to consider that imperfections. But Taylor has been getting a little bit more involved, and when Bob Taylor realized that was going on, he kind of stepped in and was like, hold on, why are we wasting this wood? And the guitar community has responded back saying, actually, those things that you were considering imperfections are beautiful.
Yeah.
And I went to Guitar Center the other day, and they have one of that like glass cabinet they have, you know, in the acoustic room, like when you walk straight ahead in the Monroeville location.
Yeah.
They have like this little glass barrier, and they'll usually have a Gibson and a nice Martin and a nice Taylor in there. And I think it was a 900 series that they had there that had that nice ebony, you know, imperfections.
Yeah, so they do look really nice.
Awesome. And I'm just sitting there drooling over it, wishing I had more money. You know, like, I would love to own it. But awesome guitars, all in all. So we're going to go ahead and let you do a demo of this thing. So you can play whatever it is that you want. If you want to showcase some originals.
Sure.
And, you know, just do your thing, man.
Okay.
All right, so before the COVID hit us, you were playing live a lot, and we're starting to slowly get back into that now, which is great. But what are some of the places that this thing has played with you, some of the stages it's seen?
I've played at the Pier in Latrobe. I've been playing at Greenhouse Winery in Irwin. I recently started playing out at Unity Brewing out in Latrobe. Spitfire was having people playing outside. Tonight I'm playing at Fat Daddy's place out in Ligonier, PA. Also, I'm playing at that Brushes and Beans coming up.
Yes.
April 24th. Very excited about that. Other places around the area. I was playing at the Harbor Inn, the Tin Lizzy, some of those places. I think that I've seen they're starting to have music again soon, or will be in the near future. But just basically anywhere I could find in the Irwin, Absolutely. Latrobe, Greensburg, Ligonier area, just up and down 30, anywhere that'll have me. I'm willing to play.
Your live show has a bit of looping involved, and you do some covers and originals, correct? Mm-hmm. Awesome. So definitely check out Jim O'Brien, and let's actually talk about, before we leave, what you played for the demos there.
Yeah, the first one, that riff there, that was that's probably the song I was most proud of that I finished in my COVID writing sessions. That's from a song I wrote called Safe and Sound. After that, just a couple of little play around things that I have, like little chord and jam things that I like to do. 8 out of 10 times I'll pick this thing up. I'll usually just, if I'm sitting around messing around by myself, a lot of them are either songs that I've been tossing around. Like the second one I did this. That's a song I'm about 80% of the way through. Hopefully I'll have that one finished and out, in the next 2 or 3 months or something like that.
And another thing I wanted to touch on with this Taylor in particular is it's got a unique spalting on the top. Now I'm going to do some glamour shots with a bit of a better camera than we're working with here, but I definitely want to highlight that, and it's my favorite thing about this guitar. But Jim, awesome guitar, man. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and catch Jim live. He's awesome to see. Where can they find you online?
So Facebook and Instagram, I am on at Jim O'Brien Acoustic. O'Brien is Obrien. So both of them, just Instagram or Facebook.com/Jim O'Brien Acoustic. Or anywhere you stream music, you can find me just under Jim O'Brien, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, all that stuff.
Awesome, man. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you guys soon. BradAbbottMusic.com and your favorite form of social media at Brad Abbott Music. Later on.